March 9th, 2022. We welcome you to Jake's Bounty. Hey, that's right, I'm in the garage once again. It is a What the Fuck Wednesday. Let's do it. You my bastard child. Alright, thank you very much for tuning to Jake's Bounty. I am your host, Jake Hernandez. It is a lovely Wednesday, a What the Fuck Wednesday, so we're going to be doing a What the Fuck story from Hollywood. Nope, not from Hollywood, but from Sacramento, California. That's right, good old Sacktown, USA, alright? But before we do that, I want to go ahead and thank the music today. That was provided by, this time, it was provided by, well, by me. That's right, that was my song entitled Bastard Child off of my album, Somewhere in Time. You can, well, get it right now in record stores, Pandora, YouTube, and all the other good stuff. I released it way back in the day, back in 2008, and I'm sharing it with you now. Again, I'll share more with you later on, but let's go ahead and thank my sponsors. We first got Dust Off right here. That's right, get all the technologies and all that other good stuff off of your products. And don't use this in your face or anywhere else. Dust Off. Okay, we also have Furniture Polish. Now this, don't use this in your face either. That's right, this is just for your furniture. Polish up real nice and good. Get over at Jake's Bounty when you type in the word polish just for 99 cents. You're like, hey, I can get a Dollar Tree for $1.25. Exactly. Saving you 26 cents. Yes, 26 cents. All right, police investigating deadly shooting in Northeast Fresno. Spot shotter at 5 a.m. went off Holland Avenue and Fresno Street, north of Ashland Avenue. They are looking for witnesses, and they have blocked off Holland Avenue between Fresno Street and Augusta Street. Anyone with info, please call the Fresno PD. All right. Woman has been suspected of killing husband in Tulare was found at a Fresno hotel. 52-year-old Penny Ince was last seen in a Motel 6 on Blackstone. All right. 65-year-old Randall Wayne was shot and killed near Road 130, or known as also Allen Road. Student involved in an alleged racist remarks towards Buchanan soccer team. I guess the Buchanan soccer team played Oak Ridge High, somewhere in Sacktown. Yeah, Sacktown. Anyway, they do not name the student, but they will get punished, and this happened at a Division I championship game between two players, and there was a penalty kick, and I guess when one of the penalty kicks happened, someone made like monkey noises at one of the players who happened to be black, and now they will get punished. Okay. Fresno Assemblyman proposing bill focused on catalytic converters. Okay. Been a whole bunch of catalytic converter thefts. Apparently, it went up from 900%. They said, and just in the Fresno County, from 2020 to 2021, it went up 900%. And the reason for that is they could basically get this catalytic converter off of your car in 2 minutes, and then go sell on the street for about $200. Or $300, whichever, and then they actually do this in the broad daylight now. They're not just doing it at night. And mechanics say it can cost a car up to $2,000 in repairs. So a lot of people are like, I don't have $2,000 and shit. And even if I do, why not just get in like a used car or something? I'm already getting $2,000, and then what if it happens again and shit, So they're going to try to do a bill, and the bill is already cleared in assembly, and unanimously that yesterday, and they're going to make it through assemblies, many more of them actually, before it goes on the floor to get a vote. All right, I guess that's how it gets decided on. It goes onto assemblies and then goes onto the floor for a vote. I don't know. I mean, this seems like a pretty easy one to me, right? All right. Hopefully they'll also get a Measure Z on the bill, which is for Chaffee Zoo, as you know. They're always going to try to update the zoo, whether it's getting more exhibits, more things for the kiddies. Unfortunately, no things for the adults, but then I guess what would that even be, like intersex species with the animals, or never mind that. But vote yes on Chaffee Zoo Z measure when it does come out, all right? Okay, let's go ahead right now and get into our little segment where we talk about dog training for dummies right here over Jake's Bounty. Like I said, I got a dog, and here we go. Recognizing your dog's instinctive behaviors. Your dog and every other dog has an individual animal comes into the world with a specific grouping of genetical inherited predetermined behaviors. How those behaviors are arranged, their intensity, how many components each are work determine the dog's temperament, personality, and suitability for a task. Those behaviors also determine how the dog perceives the world. Researchers have studied dog behavior and have made a list of catalog of the different forms of behavior that dogs display. Researchers have divided these behaviors into 4 groups that benefit training how human community with their dogs to give a better understanding of your dog. We group instinctive behaviors into 4 drives, and these 4 are entitled prey, pack, defense, and defense flight. So there's defense fight and defense flight. All right. These drives reflect instinctive behaviors of your dog are inherited that are useful in teaching him what he needs to learn. All right. And each one of these drives governed by a basic trait. Not all these dogs inherit all these behaviors, but you may see many parts of these drives in your dog. All right. So it goes into greater detail. They have each section. They have prey, pack, and defense, and fight and flight for defense. Okay, so that's all here at Dog Training for Dummies, and much more. Okay, just type in the word dummy and you get it for $5.99 when you do so over here at Jake's Bounty. Okay, well, I do want to talk to you about our movie of the week entitled Bushwhack. That's right, it stars Daniel Stern, and no, it's not a porno, but it is a very good movie nonetheless. All right. It's Daniel Stern who gets mistaken identity. People think he's basically a scout leader. Yeah, this guy. They think he's going to be a scout leader, and he leads this troop, overnight camping trip. And this camping troop, they're a bunch of kids who had been had a den mother rather than like an actual scout leader. So now things have changed. They're quite a ragtag group, and they're just as funny as Daniel Stern is in this movie. Okay, so go get it right now. $1 7-day rental, Ray's video. Okay, we'll have a scene from it tomorrow. I promise. All right, pinky promise. You know how those goes, right? Alright, but let's go ahead and get into the what the fuck story. Now, if you guys have been watching Netflix, maybe you've heard of a show called The Worst Roommate Ever, and they have 2 stories on there. The one we're going to be talking about today is Dorothy Helen Puente. That's right, she's from Sacktown, California. That's right, and she was a convicted serial killer in the 1980s. Puente ran a boarding house in Sacramento, California, and murdered various elderly and mental disabled boarders before cashing their Social Security checks. Oh, I bet. Her total count reached 9 murders with 6 unconfirmed. Newspapers dubbed Puente the Death House Landlady. Like I said, this series is on Netflix, and this right now, you can go ahead and go to Netflix after you watch the rest of my show, of course. But it tells you where Dorothy Helen Puente was born, which was in Redlands, California. And then she got married at the age of 16, and then she had 2 daughters, and after that, she ended up becoming a prostitute in the early, I believe, was it like a late 50s and early 60s. And into the 60s, she became a madam. That's right. She found herself in jail many times in Sacramento County, and was even called a pathological liar by one of her doctors. And she would marry again in 1968, but they separated in less than 2 years. She then became known as Dorothy Puente. She adopted her surname for more than 20 years, and following this divorce, she'd run a boarding house located on 21st and F Streets in Sacramento. She established herself as a general resource to the community to aid alcoholics, homeless people, and mentally ill people by holding AA meetings and assisting individuals to receive Social Security benefits. Now, she wasn't supposed to do any of this because she was on parole, all right? And I think my camera went a little lopsided right here. Try it. Okay. All right, so she wasn't supposed to have anybody in her house, especially be taking any boarders in, and this was against her parole, but somehow she was able to get away with it. And in 1978, she was convicted again, to illegally cashing 34 state federal checks belonging to her tenants. So she had already gotten caught. She had to pay $4,000 in restitution, all right? In April 1982, 53-year-old Ruth Monroe began living with Puente in her upstairs apartment, but soon died from an overdose of codeine and acetaminophen. Puente told police the woman was depressed because her husband was terminally ill. They had believed her on the rule of the death as a suicide. A few weeks later, the police returned after Malcolm McKenzie's 70-year-old pensioner, one of her former elderly Puente, was accused of drugging and accused Puente drugging and stealing from him. And there's more incidents. There's one from Everson Gilmouth, a 77-year-old retiree from Oregon, and then it just keeps going on and on and on, and then has her arrest and imprisonment, which took place on November 11th, 1988. And this happened after the disappearance of Tenant Alvaro Montoya, all right, who's also known as Bert. He was a developmentally disabled man with schizophrenia. He was reported missing by a social worker, okay? And they ended up going over there looking for him and looking, for his belongings. And they ended up getting an okay from Dorothy Puente to go ahead and dig in the front yard, and they did. And they started finding, cloth and trash, and then they found a femur bone. That's right, a femur bone. And they found more and more bodies and bones. And Puente actually, at one point, ended up asking the sergeant, in charge of the case, hey, do you mind if I just go down the street and get a cup of coffee? My daughter's waiting there, blah, 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 blah. He ended up letting her go. And she ended up fleeing to Los Angeles, got caught, I think a short time later, but nonetheless, crazy, right? And you can go through all this and much, much more at the Netflix series, which is Worst Roommate Ever. And then you got a little bit about 42 minutes of, episode about this Dorothy Puente. I heard about her before, but I didn't know all that I knew about her that I know now. So a pretty good show, and I recommend you go watch it, okay? Well, that's going to do it for us today on Jake's Bounty. But before I want to say goodbye, I want to say, here's my bounty right here. Got a good little number of cans and bottles. Let's see, Bang Organic Sweet Iced Tea. There's another one that is Sweet Iced Tea. And then we got Rockstar Endurance, Blue Raspberry flavor. And then we've got Red Bull Blue Edition, and Modelo, and what is this? Deschutes IPA. Now, if I said this wrong, forgive me and correct me in the comments below. That's what we have today. I'm going to put this down and tell you about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Throwback Thursday. We'll have the news, my bounty, and so much more. Also, we'll have a scene from Bushwhack, all right? That's our movie of the week. And our other sponsor that I'm going to talk to you about is Dust Off. That's right. Get over here at Jake's Bounty, or get it here at any really technology store. You can get it at Walgreens, maybe CVS Pharmacy. I know you can get it at Walmart. And remember, don't put this anywhere near your face, but all new in your technology, alright? Alright, well that's going to do it for me today, and hope you guys have a good rest of the day. And remember, be good to yourselves, and be good to each other. And here is a song from me that you heard earlier. It's Bastard Child from my album Pleasures of the Flesh. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of the day.
You're my bastard child. Give me any money.
Jake's Bounty was filmed at Fornicate Yourself Records Production 2021. You can find us on Facebook's channel's website. We'll leave a like and comments as always. Please subscribe.
You're my bastard child.